Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a little candle maker vlog because I've got some stuff to get done and I thought it might be the best way of me getting it done is like if I'm talking to you guys at the same time. It's body doubling. I have some candles to clean up and label. I've actually got a package that I want to send out. I suppose it's our first ever influencer package. I'm sending it out to someone that I know as a fellow influencer. I hate the name. I hate the word influencer, which makes no sense because that is what you are when you are a content creator. It's just that when I started 15 years ago, there wasn't the word influencer and there wasn't the stigma that there is now surrounding people who create content online. I don't personally feel like I was a salesperson for a decade, but I understand why people feel that way now because it does feel a little, buy all these things on Amazon. And then I have transitioned my whole thing of being an influencer into a product-based business. So I can't really fight it, can I? I can't. But all that is to say, this is our first thing that we're sending out to an influencer, I think. We were going to do it at Christmas and then they never got back to us. It was like we're going to send this thing. It was really exciting. And then, they never got back to us, so we never did. And this is an influencer friend of mine who was looking for a new perfume. And from what she said she wanted, I was like, I have to send you our perfume because you're going to love it. There's no strings attached. I'm not asking anything of her. I'm literally just sending her the product, hoping she loves it so much that she wants to shout it from the rooftops, but there's no agreement in place. And in doing that, I did also think that might be quite interesting. For those of you who follow along because you have your own business, you may have questions from this side of it that it might be interesting for me as an influencer to answer, because I know from the other side what makes me more inclined to talk about a company, what makes me I'm not talking about like paid stuff, I'm talking about when you just receive something. What are the things that stand out to me? What are the things that really kind of foster those relationships? So if you've got any particular questions, let me know, because I thought that might be an interesting video. It's definitely something that we want to focus on towards the end of the year. We want to be pushing for a little bit more influencer marketing. Definitely kind of like autumn winter this year, we're going to go down that route. Whether or not we go sponsorship, I don't know. It's still so small. I've been stressing out majorly about tax recently. Not tax, but accounts. We finally found someone who can just do like our basic accounts. And I have been trying to reconcile a year's worth of books because I've been keeping them manually with like spreadsheets and files and stuff. And I'm trying to reconcile them all in software now and absolutely kicking myself for not just starting the software this time last year. I'm so mad. I'm happy that I've done it at this time in the financial year because I know that the 25 to 26 will be a piece of cake because I'm going into it with a completely different mindset. But for someone who's as terrified of the HMRC as I am, it's not a fun thing, this part of the job at all. And so when I think of marketing and I think of like, we really want to push earning as much money as we can in the autumn winter time 2025, my first thought is I'm scared to earn money because I'm scared of the HMRC. Anyone else? Is it just me? Today I am restocking, tell me, I would say croissant, but it sounds so pretentious. Croissant? Well, how do you pronounce this? How do you say this? But I'm restocking these. I'm just labeling some up. I also am labeling the new scent that we're launching at the end of this week, which is April Showers. That's going to launch on Friday because it's just ahead of April. I think the next scent that we'll launch might be Daisy Chains. They actually, the place that we get the core, because we found a fantastic oil that was like the most realistic green grass smell. And they actually discontinued it, which is devastating. But we found some. We still have some left. And so, with that in mind, we are actually going to do a little mini launch of that. I think I may have some labels left over, which would be great, money saving wise. But I'm just kind of trying to today get ahead a little bit so that I can drop all these things off with Karen, so we are sorted for the launch and we're not chasing our tail all the time. For the most part, we've been pretty good recently. We've really got organised, but I have had a bit of a stumbling block just because it is the end of the financial year and I have been focusing so much on accounts and not tax specifically, because you know, tax is what it is, but it's like everything being correct and finding every single invoice for literally every transaction. PayPal does not like keep, when I moved all of my things across to zero from PayPal, it doesn't hold all the information at past 30 days. So I'm individually, manually reconciling every single transaction that happened in PayPal. And a lot of people pay us through PayPal, to the point of, while I was doing it, I kept thinking, I'm not going to accept PayPal payments this year. This is too stressful. Like, there's so many things that half goes out of PayPal, and if we don't have enough to cover it, the other half goes out of our business bank account. And I'm finding that really confusing. And I'm having to kind of talk myself down a little bit, because it's not going to be that confusing in the next tax year, because I'm going to have been using the software. So I'm going to do this, like I was doing this on a monthly basis, but manually. So now I'm having it. If I could just tell you one thing, if you have not started yet, or if you have like just become a limited company, start immediately with the software, because it makes it so much easier. I've got all of these that I've burned down as much as I can, because some of them just do not work, and they are going to get cleaned out today, or at least I'm going to make a start on getting those cleaned out today. That's what the kettle is boiling for. And I've just set myself up to box, or well, not all of these candles, hold the line. These candles, it's actually not that many, it's only about 26. But just to send some stock to Karen, to get the ones boxed off to send to the influencer today. In case you're totally in dark about this, this is how I clean the wax out of the candle jars. It melts the wax, and the wax then floats to the surface. I have been doing this since way back in the day. There's only a tiny bit left in the bottom of those. And then something that I used to do when I was like buying Bath and Body Works and stuff is I used to, it also smells amazing. I think that was Moonstruck. I need to get some more Moonstruck oil mixed up, because that is such a good smell. What was I going to say? Yeah, when the wax pops out the top at the end, you can use it as a wax melt. It won't be like a full strength wax melt, but free wax melt. I'm on my last couple of candles to box up, and it just occurred to me, because I thought, well, I'm going to send off this parcel today. I don't know if I've got any parcel tape, you know. This is the one thing. I think that Karen and I have got the most perfect split in terms of work. Like, it's a really good way of like splitting the business between two people. However, we don't both have access to everything at the same time. So if she's missing a candle and I've got it, we just can't sell that candle, because it's like an hour round trip to get to her house. She doesn't live like next door or around the corner. It's not like a quick thing. So yeah, that's kind of frustrating. And obviously she's got all of the packing supplies, so I can't just like ship off something from here, because I don't usually have everything. For the purpose of this, she did bring me some packing supplies. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think she will have thought to put me tape in, because she probably thinks I've already got it, but I don't. Not that I know where it is anyway. Right, so what I think I might do is just pack it up kind of loosely. I'm just going to use regular tape, and then once it's all put together, then I'm going to get some parcel tape and properly wrap it. That feels like the right move. Also, I never make boxes, so I do not know the correct way to do this so that it is as secure as it can be. Okay, I feel good about this. I mean, as good as I can feel. I feel like it's as secure as it can be, but time will tell. Time will tell. I've just used regular sellotape and then I'll get Lee to pick me up some parcel tape on the way home. I'm going to try and do my couch to 5K outside today for the first time. I'm not a runner. I had no intentions on ever being a runner, but I need to get my fitness levels up just so that I have enough stamina to live life. That's the plan. I don't plan on doing anything like really particularly active, but I shouldn't be as out of breath as I feel walking up the stairs or around my house. Also, again, I should have done like a time lapse of this because this is quite fun to look at. But if you've never seen this in action before, you can see how some of them take a little longer than others. But you can see how we've got some wax that have not, I mean, some of these are totally empty pretty much. But with these ones, you can see how the wax has floated to the top. And it just takes a couple of times. And once that solidifies, you'll just be able to pop out a wax disc. But the majority of these are pretty clean. It's just those few that I burned as much as I could, but they didn't work and there was a reason that I had to get rid of them. Now it's 1 o'clock and I'm gonna make myself some cereal for lunch while I go and edit some stuff. But I feel like I've got a little ahead. There's some of those candles that have been waiting to be labelled for weeks. I go through phases of motivation with things, and when something is not immediately important, like a couple of those I noticed on the website yesterday when I was doing some updates, were out of stock and I didn't know they were out of stock. Again, an issue with us not being in one place, because unless I go out of my way, I'm sure at some point Karen told me we're running low on this and I immediately ignored that, but I didn't realise that we were out of stock. Had I known I had the stock, I just need to label it, box it up and get it to Karen. So this will be ready as and when I see her. The box for the influencer, I say the influencer, she's called Liza, she's lovely. But just for the sake of, that box is done. And yeah, it's little things. They're not huge, but things that you put off until you've got somebody hanging out with you and you're like, okay, fine, I'll get it done. Right, I'm gonna go eat my cereal. Thanks for body doubling with me. Oh, do you know what? For keeping me company and for listening to my woes about tax. Anyone who stayed to the end and is someone who would buy from us, use the code TAX to get 20% off for limited time only.